All right, so this is the Blackboard site for Dmpt 1600 for the fall 2024 semester. And actually, this is not the Blackboard site. This is my site on Blackboard and has all the classes that I teach. Of course, your Blackboard site will just have all the classes that you're taking this semester. Here is our class right here, Dmpt 1600, course recognition number 20307. That's Introduction to Video Production. When I click on this link, it's going to take me to the Blackboard site for the class. And you guys, because this is not your first class here at GPTC, I'm sure you all know how Blackboard works, right? You all kind of got used to Blackboard, and it kind of changed in the last couple of semesters, didn't it? It got, a little more. If you've been here long enough, it changed a little bit. Well, I've got some great news for you. Next semester is going to change even more. It's going to change to something called Blackboard Ultra. And just to let you know, you may say, who's making these decisions? Who is doing this to us? How we have to relearn Blackboard? And it's not anybody, definitely not a teacher, not a dean. It's kind of something that's sent down from the president of the school, possibly even from TCSG. Blackboard Ultra is something that the teachers started training on back in the summer. And it's actually a really good upgrade to Blackboard. Blackboard Ultra will have more artificial intelligence features in it. So we'll be able to write tests and quizzes a lot easier. There are a lot of other things that'll make it a lot more efficient. We just have to go through those growing pains of actually learning this new system. And believe me, if you guys think you don't like it, we don't like it as teachers, having to go through that process because of the fact that we changes how we grade stuff and how we post stuff, and we had to relearn all of that stuff. It's coming seemingly every couple of years now. They're changing it. So that's kind of weird. But anyway, so I'm going to start with the Start Here section here. And in the Start Here section, you guys know that you have to complete your no-show participation assignment. All right. Your deadline for your no-show participation assignment is this Thursday, day after tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. Please make sure you get that done. As a matter of fact, when we take a break, I want to strongly encourage you guys, go to a computer lab and just knock it out. You guys know the no-show. You guys have done it a billion times. And you click on the quiz, you click on the link for the quiz, you click begin, and all you have to do is just click yes to these two questions, click save and submit. As you know, what happens if you don't do your no-show quiz? What happens to you as a student? Yes, if you don't do your no-show quiz or participation quiz, the registrar withdraws or drops you from the class. So it is very important that you guys complete it. There is a reinstatement process, but it's a real pain, to go through. Has anybody here had to be reinstated before? Nobody? Yeah, you don't want to go through that process. You got to go through a lot of red tape. So the goal is just go ahead and complete that before Thursday, 11:59 p.m. Thursday, I think, is the 15th. So please make sure you take care of that. All right. And then in the next part of the Start Here section of Blackboard, instructor contact information. This is how you get in contact with me. Of course, you guys all know. I thought I put a picture here. I guess not. You guys all know where my office is. It's C18. It's across the hallway, a couple doors down. And my schedule this semester is there we go. It just took a while. I have Mondays and Wednesdays. My conference hours are from 9:30 until 1. And at 1, I start a DMPT 1000 class. So if you need to see me, it's best if you make an appointment. I'll put it that way, just to make sure I'm in place. Sometimes I'm in here fixing equipment, as you can see. Nobody cleans this place but me, okay? And maintaining the equipment. That's what I do when I'm not teaching classes, stuff like that. So making an appointment is a great idea so you can make sure I'm in place when you need to see me, if you want to talk to me about some stuff, if you need help on anything that we covered in class. If you want to, because this is a very hands-on class, if you want to get practice setting up the equipment and using the equipment, and I cannot emphasize that strongly enough. That needs to be like all you're really about, largely, is getting hands-on, setting up, breaking it down, setting it up, breaking it. Breaking down means taking it apart, the equipment, because you're gonna have practical exams. That means that it's like a driver's exam, if you've ever taken one of those, where I'm gonna ask you to do each person individually, one by one, ask you to do a certain number of tasks, how to, say, set up the tripod, how to set up the camera, how to operate it, and you have to do it. You have to do what I ask you to do. Now, of course, I'm gonna train you in this stuff. I'm not just throwing you in the deep end with no training, but and that's largely why we're gonna be spending a lot of time in here, is to give you that hands-on. But your focus needs to be not just watching other people do it or get a intellectual understanding of how it's done. You need to do it hands-on, not one time, because you don't really know it if you've only done it once, not twice, but as many times as you can. These are the skills that will make it so that you'll be prepared to go out to that reality show shoot that I would like to hook you guys up with and actually be a contributing member of the crew if you have a skill set. Because they don't want anybody to just walk out there just standing around, right? You know, they want somebody who will actually do something. So in any case, you can come and ask, hey, Mr. Thomas, I'd like to practice working with the camera or the tripod or lights or whatever. 9:30 to 1, I'm out of class. To be honest with you, for a really determined, industrious student, if I'm over in Dmpt 1000 teaching a class and that's really the only time you have to come and practice, I will stop class momentarily to let you in here and get you set up on equipment. That's how committed I am to that, all right? So that shows you how important it is. But anyway, 9:30 to 1 on Mondays and Wednesdays, Thursday 1 to 4, and Fridays 9:30 to 2. Please remember, Fridays we close early, we close at 3, all right? That's why I stopped it at 2, because I stopped it at 1, well, I should have really said 12 or 12:30 on this one, because some students, if they know the school closes at 3, and if I would have said, hey, I'm here till 3, guess when the student will show up? At 3. It's like, they're locking the doors now. That doesn't mean that, when I say from 9, say 9:30 to 3, that doesn't mean come at 3 and we'll stay as long as you need. That means at 3 o'clock, I've got to walk out of the door. So please, with any of the hours, please try to give yourself enough time so that I can help you in whatever way you need help. You can fall through, as they say. That means just, if you happen to be walking by my audience, right, Tyler? If you happen to be walking by my audience, my office, and you just want to hey, Mr. Thomas, I want to talk, that's totally fine, okay? Shoot me an email, totally fine. Call me on my office phone, that's totally fine as well. But once again, if it's a surprise pop-up visit, I may or may not be there. All right, I'll be on campus somewhere, but I may not be sitting in my office waiting for somebody to show up. So as you guys know, that's my email address, thomasj@gptc.edu. That's my phone number. That's the school's number. And then my extension to my office phone is 1305. And of course, I'm in C18. All right. Any questions about any of that? Anything we discussed so far? All right. So walkthrough video of the course. What I'm recording right now is going to go into this section of the Start Here section, as well as this welcome video if you've already seen it. It's kind of like a real short general, hey, welcome to GPTC in the fall. And I'm not talking to this class per se. I make one welcome video and it's for all the classes. But the welcome video, after we finish recording this one, if you want to go back and watch it again, especially for the people who were not here on the first day, which is today, August the 13th, Tuesday, you can find the walkthrough video right here. All right, let's go back to Start Here. Syllabus. Here is a syllabus for the class. I'll go through it in a little more detail a little later on, but you can access it by simply clicking the link, and then it'll start to download. It'll download to your computer. My suggestion is that you download a copy to your computers at home, maybe put it on a flash drive, put it on a cloud drive. Always have access to it, because as I always say, the syllabus is my contract with you and your contract with me. So you know what to expect over the course of the semester. Of course, like any good contract, the person who wrote it reserves the right to make changes to it at will. And so, but if I make changes to it, I'll let you know. I can guarantee you there are going to be changes. I never follow the script, right? I always make changes at one point, but at least try to follow it at least at the beginning of the semester. But as far as the changes, I don't make changes when I say, hey, I'm not going to give a test on, say, week 7. I'm going to give it on week 8, right? If I make a change like that, I could put it in the syllabus and then re-upload the syllabus to Blackboard, but that gets very monotonous and really tired really fast. So any changes to what we're going to do in class, which is like changes to the syllabus, they'll be in the weekly announcements. So make sure that you consult the weekly announcements regularly. I send them out either Sunday evening or Monday morning, and you also get a copy of it in your email as well. 1 or 2 copies in your email. All right, so that's the syllabus. Course schedule, you guys know about this one. This is pretty cool because of the fact that it's like a calendar. And if you check the classes over here on the left that you want to see on the calendar, it'll show you all the deadlines that you have for those classes on the calendar. So it's just another way of keeping track of things. Everything isn't here yet, but it's like once I put like the due dates on your upcoming quizzes, then you'll see the little banners appear like that. So it'll come up very soon. So it's just another way to keep track of things and make sure you don't forget. If you click or double click on a banner, it'll give you more information on the assignment, like when the due date is, and like the course enrollment participation quiz we talked about, right? It'll tell you about that. This is not just for this class. This is for my 1,000 classes as well as this class. All right. All right. But I don't know if yours works like mine, but when I choose the classes that I want to show on the calendar in one of my classes, it does it for all of my classes in Blackboard. So it's not just like Dmpt 1600 will show you these 3 classes. Even my other 1,000 classes and my 2,600 class, it should look the same. Okay. All right. Okay, go back to start here and schedule academic calendar. This is real general stuff, like first day of classes, which was yesterday, Monday, August the 12th. Last day of classes is December the 9th, 2024. I wrap things up on December the 1st. Your final exam and your final project will be due no later than Sunday, December the 1st, 2024. And you guys who've taken me before, I always have things due on Sundays, right? By 11:59 p.m., right? So just get that in your mind. There's always going to be a quiz due on virtually every Sunday. There's always going to be whatever is due, with really 1 or 2 exceptions. It'll always be due Sunday night, 11:59 p.m. But yeah, I'm ending the semester as far as getting new material and evaluations on December the 1st, because there's always wrap-up business that you have to do with students and with the administration at the end of the semester. And of course, students want. I'm sorry, December 9th is the when the not really the end of the semester. That's when the grades have to be posted, right? The end of the semester comes a few days before that. All right. But there's always some business that you have to take care of, some cleaning up business at the end. And if you push yourself to the very last day as a teacher, then you're going to miss some deadlines. Because there's always somebody who comes up, oh, Mr. Thomas, I forgot to tell you about this. And I've got to go in the system and make a change or whatever. And then, I can't turn in my grades until I get that straightened out. And so that's why I don't wait until the last minute. And some students will give us until as long as humanly possible. It's like, yeah, no, I can't do that, because that pushes me and that puts me in danger of not meeting my deadlines. And, we teachers, we got deadlines too, right? Okay. So we're going to go back to start here. Let me close this out. All right, and GPTC and Blackboard support information. You guys know this. If you have any problems with Blackboard, you can just go to the GPTC support student and Blackboard support information. First one is if you, say for example, you forgot your password or it's not working, you can click on that first link and reset your password. The second link, GPTC online learning support information. This is like generally how online classes work at the school, which is not really so much of a concern of ours because this is a meeting on campus class, right? And just for the people who are not here right now, yes, this is an on-campus class. In C24 from 9 to 12, Tuesdays and Thursdays. There is no way to even think about passing this course without coming to class consistently, regularly, every time, because there's so much hands-on that you're doing in this course, you can't do it from home. Okay, so this is, by all means, this is absolutely, you have not signed up for an online course. All right? Okay, so GPTC Blackboard support ticket, that's like if something is wrong with your Blackboard other than just, I forgot my password. Maybe there's a class not appearing on Blackboard, or it's acting funny, or you go to a particular class and the whole thing just shuts down or whatever. That's when you go to Blackboard support and you file what's called a ticket. All a ticket is just a request for service, for a request for them to help fix the problem for you. Blackboard technology orientation recording, that's just basically a summation of how Blackboard works. It's a demonstration by Sandra Clapper, I believe, of how Blackboard works. So if there's something in Blackboard that you're forgetting, or hey, how do I see my grades, and Mr. Thomas isn't around, or you're at home and you want to see if you can figure out how you can see what grade you got on a quiz, then in Blackboard, then you can click on that link and it'll tell you a lot of stuff about it. But also what I want to tell you is that anytime I need help with Blackboard, I don't go to this. I go to YouTube, because Blackboard is actually made by a company, and a whole lot of schools all over the country, at the very least, they have Blackboard. So over the many, many years it's been around, they have a lot of tutorial videos. And it's not like an hour and 45 minutes. Like, this is pretty long. It gives you the whole Blackboard tour. But if you're like, hey, I just need to know how to check my grade on a quiz, right? You can type that into YouTube as a search, Blackboard, how to check my grades. And there'll maybe be like a 3 or 2 minute video that just covers just that one topic, all right? So I wanna invite you to do that. Okay. Textbook information. Yes, we need to get the textbook, everybody. Every class has to have a textbook. And is it gonna show me ours here? I don't know, but I'll show it to you here, and it is in the syllabus. It is, the textbook for the course is, I'm gonna go to Amazon.com, and I should have, I have it in my office, I should have brought it. Here it is right here. It is Video Shooter, Mastering Storytelling Techniques, 3rd edition. You can get it on Kindle or you can get it paperback. They have it in the bookstore. Bookstore, they're probably gonna charge you, full price as if it's new. This is a very old book, right? But it's a very, very, good book. So yeah, you have to have it. I do have some supplementary PowerPoints. Okay, the PowerPoints are not a substitution for the book. Not everything that's in the book is in the PowerPoint, and not everything that's in the PowerPoint is in the book. So, but the quizzes, you're responsible for all of it. So you definitely want to get the book. But I'll tell you, if I were you, I'd try to find it at the most reasonable cost as possible. So, and it's probably not the bookstore unless it's used. But even then, their used books are not cheap at all. There's also the Kindle edition. So if you have the Kindle app on your phone, your laptop, or your tablet, usually that's a lot cheaper. And it's a lot more convenient because you're walking around with the book in your phone and you can access it, from any device that can connect to the internet, right? So I definitely want to recommend that you consider the Kindle edition of it. Like I said, it's also a lot cheaper, okay? You don't have to pay for shipping. Once you get your Kindle app, the book downloads to your devices immediately, so you don't have to worry about, Mr. Thomas is going to take 5 months for my book to come in the mail, you know. All right. So that's the textbook. And I think that's, proctoring. Well, we got a few other things. Grading policies for the class. You guys know it. This is kind of tells you what's a A, what's a B, what's a C as far as numerical average. 90 to 100 is an A. 80 to 89 is a B. 70 to 79 is a C, and so forth. As you guys all know, to get out of any class in your major, you have to have a what grade? A C or better. We don't do pluses and minuses here, so technically it's a 70% or better. I do round up, but only 0.5. Like if you have like a 69.5, I'll round that up to a 70. But you don't want to be the 69.5 person in the first place. That means you're barely hanging on by the skin of your teeth, all right? And being able to exceed and excel above the standard, you know, the C average, getting up there into the A plus area, that's what you want, because of the fact that it's the people who know, not so much the grade, but if the grade reflects your proficiency with this equipment and these skills, right? Those are the people that the employers, the producers, the studios, that's who they want to hire and work on their films. If you had millions of dollars to spend, are you gonna give a person with a C minus a chance just because they seem to be a nice person and you're spending money on them? Are you gonna give that person a chance? Probably not, okay? It's funny because a lot of people, they want people to cut standards and give me a break and give me a chance when it's them that's looking for the job. But when they're hiring people, they want the absolute best. They want the A plus student. And I tell people it's like if you are going to the doctor and you're getting a surgery or something like that, who do you want performing your heart surgery? The person who had A pluses in med school, or the person who had the C minus in med school and barely made it out? Who do you want performing your heart surgery? The A plus guy or gal, right? And so everybody is like that, even if it's making a movie, making a commercial, making a ham sandwich. I don't know why I keep saying ham sandwiches. But when you go to Subway and you're buying a $5 footlong, if they even do that anymore, do you want was it now? Do you want the person who barely made it out of sandwich making school making your sandwich, or do you want the best person in the class, in the sandwich making class, if there is such a thing, making your sandwich? Right. And you're just spending $5. All right? So it's like, always think from the perspective of the person spending the money. What would I want from a person I'm going to hire? I want the absolute best. And that's what you aim for as you train yourself. All right? Come on, give me a chance. And you drop these fries. Drop the fries in the basket, in the grease, I'm saying, at McDonald's. All right. Proctoring, you guys know about Respondus Lockdown Browser. The proctoring link there is basically just tells you about Respondus Lockdown Browser. This link right here gives you all the information you need to know to download, install, and use Respondus Lockdown Browser. I only use Respondus Lockdown Browser one time in the semester, and it's in the final exam. We're required to, as instructors, have one proctored event. And basically a proctored event is an event that is monitored. Technically, we're gonna have at least 3 proctored events, because you have a midterm practical exam, a final practical exam, and the written final exam. But one of them has to be proctored by Respondus Lockdown Browser, okay? So you guys know the deal with Respondus, so I don't have to belabor that point. But here are all the links here to show you how to use it and why to use it and all that kind of good stuff. All right, it's in the proctoring section. Additional course resources. There's nothing here, and I rarely put anything there. Additional course resources, it's like supplemental material that's not really related to a grade in the class. Believe me, a lot of times that's some of the best stuff, but instead of putting it there, I normally integrate it into the assignments, into the modules in the assignment section, so it's right there with all the other stuff you're getting graded on. So you don't have to hunt around on Blackboard to find, wow, I would like to learn more about the zone system of exposure. Where is it? Instead of putting it here, I'll put it in the same module where we're talking about lighting and exposure. That makes a lot more sense. And finally, college resources. This is just stuff like, library services. Most important thing, I think, is registration information. You can click on this and register for the next semester. Of course, you can't register for the spring yet. It's not open yet. But as we get closer and closer to the end of this semester, you can register for the next semester using this link right here. And of course, the course catalog, that's the rule book for the school, campus services and amenities. One thing I do want to introduce you to guys to, and I know some of you may already know about it, is, make sure that's the right category. No, it's in campus life. Campus service and amenities, that's something else. It sends you back to the school's website. Bookstore, the safe place, the library, campus security and police. They talk about that in campus services and amenities. Student handbook, it's similar to the course catalog, except for the student handbook is more directed at you as a student and what you need to do to succeed in the school, and it gives you some more rules, right? The TCSG free online training, that's, once again, more about, a lot of people are taking online courses. That's going to launch you, once again, back to outside website. Economic development, that's the part of the school that is not related to giving out grades. You can take classes in economic development and you're not getting grades for it. You have to pay for these classes, of course, but it's really more about just getting training outside of like an academic environment. And it's a really big thing that we have here at the school. Not really so much related to this class, but once in a while you hear me mention it in terms of different organizations like Shadowbox Backlot Academy. You've heard me talk about that, right? Shadowbox Backlot Academy. That is a training program where students go to a studio backlot. It's right off of Boulder Crest and 285, and they learn the essence or the basics of being a production assistant working in a production office. It's a really great program. I'm always, hunting new talent to participate in it. It's an 11-week program. It's in the evenings, and their big thing is after you finish it, they want to, they help you get gigs in the industry. Like, we have some people who worked on P-Valley. We have people who worked on other shows. I know we've had people who worked on Stranger Things after they finish that program, okay? So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in doing, it's free, doesn't cost you anything. It's, like I said, it's 11 weeks, evenings. Their next session starts in October, all right? And it goes all the way up to October, November, all the way up to like the Christmas break, all right? I think I tried to pitch you on this, didn't I, Tyler? I didn't mention it. I think I did, yeah. And you said, screw you, Mr. Thomas, I'm not doing it. And you flicked me off, and you ran out of the room. So, you didn't do that. So I don't care about my future, Mr. Thomas. Then he jumped off the building. So that's an economic development type of program. It doesn't impact your grade in here or any class, but it's a really good training opportunity. And like I said, I'm going to push you guys to get involved with opportunities outside of the walls of the school. All right. A lot of people, like I said, they can't think beyond just being a student. Time for that is gone. Y'all need to think about, hey, I need to train because I'm going to be thrown into the deep end of the pool of the industry very soon, and I need to know how to swim. Nothing's more frightening than being thrown in a pool and you don't know how to swim, right? All right. So this class and other classes where I teach you how to swim, right? All right. No more water wings. How many of you had water wings when you were kids? The little water wings? I don't, yeah. All right. Foundation scholarships. If you are like the rest of us and money is a thing or a concern for you, and you find yourself coming up on a semester and maybe you don't have all the money you need to pay for your classes, then GPTC Foundation scholarships may be right for you. It's a helping hand to pay for school. Now, they're not going to pay for a full load of classes, 12 credit hours. That's not what this is for. This is for like one, maybe two classes, that you need. Maybe, hey, I only want to take one class in the summertime or one class in the spring, and it's not enough for maybe you don't have any grant money left. Maybe, your grant says, hey, we'll pay for your school, but only if you take 3 or 4 classes. You only have one class to take before you graduate, so they're going to make you pay out of pocket, but you don't have the money to pay out of pocket. The foundation may be the answer for you, okay? And every semester, or at least at the beginning of every school year, we get an email from the school talking about, hey, tell your students about the foundation and certain scholarship opportunities. So don't be surprised if you get some emails from me and maybe some other teachers about that. Campus life. These are all the student-led clubs that you have. You guys all know our lovely mascot, Monty, right? Monty the Lion. Do you guys know we have a mascot?
Yeah.
We're now the GPTC Lions. That's our mascot, our kind of name. And I just want to drop kick Monty. Not because I got a problem with Monty, but I have this kind of a twitch. Everybody has their little dysfunction. My dysfunction is, for some reason, I like to beat up people in mascot costumes. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I used to work at Macy's, and they had this guy who, I don't even know who the person was. And frankly, I don't want to know because then I feel bad. But he'd have this Macy's mascot costume, like a big fuzzy teddy bear. He was a Macy's teddy bear. Oh yeah. They have a mascot. I think it did it mostly in the old days, right?
Maybe like Christmas.
Yeah. It was more of a holiday thing. And I'd be like chasing this guy all over the store because I just wanted to beat him up. I mean, I'd tackle him and stuff like that. It's just a thing. You know how you have a dog, and that dog is somehow triggered by like random stuff. You know what I mean? That's how I am with. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, there are lots of great clubs, but the only club I think about most of the time is what? United Media Minds. You guys have heard of them? Yeah. United Media Minds. It's a great club that you want to definitely be a part of. You go to clubs and organizations and click that there, and you go down to, I think it's in alphabetical order, United Media Minds, it's Skills USA. I haven't been, you're right there, thanks. I haven't been convinced to participate in the Skills USA thing yet, maybe one day. But the idea is United Media Minds is a student-run program. It is an audio-visual club. They do things like we go on field trips. We tutor train how to use film and video equipment. It's a great place to get extra instruction. Students work on fun media-related projects together, okay? And it's also designed to be fun and social. So you guys can meet each other, network, have fun, make some friends. One of the things that I'm having to really, nudge them into is having some sort of party where it's just, it's nothing big time serious. It's just, say, some food, some good music, and people having a good time. I said, if you want to use the studio, you can use as long as you clean it up after. You're totally free to use the studio for that, because of the fact that we want to develop a community here. We want you guys to be like a clique. We want you guys to be like a gang, okay? Like the frickin' Crips or the Bloods, but with film, okay? And so, to have that kind of cohesiveness, that kind of togetherness, where you guys are friends and you like working together and you really push each other and encourage each other and have friendly competition to make each other better, working on each other's projects, music videos, short films, commercials, recordings of music recordings in the recording studio, because recording arts people are very much welcome to be a part of it. We do have a lot of recording arts members, but just a community, a creative community that's run by students. A lot of great portfolio pieces should be coming out of United Media Minds, okay? Because all of you guys got to go through exit review, right? And exit review is you have to create a portfolio at the end of exit review. Your portfolio is your calling card. Your portfolio is basically, here's a representation of my work. This is the kind of work. It's not like full length stuff. It's, like the little sampler platter you get from TGIF, a little bit of buffalo wings, a little bit of mozzarella sticks. That's what your portfolio is. It's online, by the way. And it just shows like the diversity of different things you can do, the different looks. If you want to be a cinematographer, your portfolio will be just cinematography work, right? And it'll show different film projects, little short portions of little film projects you've worked on. Your whole demo reel starting out may be no more than 1.5 minutes, but it's like a highlight reel of just different projects. One issue that we have with students is that they come out of here and they don't know that they should have been using the time, the training they've been getting here to make projects outside of class with the skills they've learned here and put that on their portfolio in exit review, not just for the grade, but because you're depending on that portfolio to start your career, to get you a job. A lot of students think of exit review as, look, man, I'm just trying to get a grade and get out of here. So they'll do something really silly, like use a lot of projects they did in class, on their portfolio. That's a big problem. Why is that a problem?
Because you've already done that enough for a grade. You want to do something that's, that means something.
Sure. Yeah, very good. You want to do something that means you did that project in class because you had to for a grade. And you want to do something that more reflects the kind of work that you would like to do for a living, all right? What's another reason as to why using just bland, milquetoast, generic projects from school, why is that a bad idea to put that on your portfolio?
Well, you just kind of explained it. It's
Yeah,
pretty
bland,
accurate.
yeah, okay. And also, guess what? Everybody else has those same projects, all right? And so not that all of you guys are going to file into the same production company and all apply for the same job, but you never know. You know what I mean? You never know when your stuff will look like other people's stuff because we've all kind of done the same thing in our educational training process. You want your stuff to be unique. And while you were doing that class project, weren't you probably learning how to do that skill for the first time? So it doesn't represent your best effort. It doesn't represent your best work because I'm doing it for the first time. Think about the first time you did anything. The first time you baked a cake, for example. I know the first time I baked a cake, it was terrible, But, once I kind of started learning it, I kept doing it. I got better and better and better and better, right? And later on, not now, but later on in my life, I could bake a decent cake, all right? And so that's how your work is you don't want to show them the very first time I shot a public service announcement in class with these limited resources we have here, and I put it on my reel. It's going to look real janky, as they used to say. It's going to look real generic. It's going to look real blah, because you got to understand, you're competing with people who not only do they have massive resources, but these people, a lot of times, they're not GPTC students, GPTC graduates. They're not even, a lot of times, current students or recent graduates. Sometimes these are like hard, cold people in the industry who've been doing it for decades. And that's the person you're competing with, right? And so shooting a 30-second commercial in the TV studio with one camera, with everybody kind of showing up with whatever they had on school for that day, with lighting it under fluorescent lights, would that be very competitive? Probably not. Somebody said, dude, the guy you are competing with for this job, his reel looked like freaking Star Wars. Which, if you were making a decision, which one would you pick? Right? If you were spending your money to hire one of these cinematographers, which one are you going to pick? Right? And I think a lot of it is because a lot of times lack of inspiration on behalf of the student. They don't really know what they can do, what the possibilities are. And second, they don't know what the competition looks like. All right? You guys probably saw a little bit of the Olympics over the last couple of weeks, right? If if somebody runs a 100 meter dash in, I don't know, 40 seconds, let's say 40 seconds, right? But you haven't been watching the Olympics. You don't know anything about the other track runners out there. So you think running 100 meters in a minute and a half is pretty good because you haven't actually, looked around and seen what the competition is doing. And you'll find out that a minute and a half, grandmas are running 100 meters faster than that. You know what I mean? But you don't know because you had no idea what the level of competition was. So part of what we're going to do in this class, and what you should be doing in all classes, not just in class, but even on your own time, is look at other people's reels. Look at professional work and consider the really good professional stuff. That's your target. That's the competition. That's what you want to match, okay? You don't just want to match the guy or gal sitting next to you in class. They may be really good, right? But there's a whole lot more out there you need to see so you can get a real good idea of what the landscape is as far as competitiveness in the industry, all right? Because the last thing you want to do is come out thinking you have a good education, I've got good trainings, and I'm really, really, really good. Of all the people on my block, I'm the best filmmaker just on my block though, in my community. You know what I mean? And that's when the other people on my block have gone to lunch or whatever, they're not home. I'm the best filmmaker, all right? You don't want to be that person, all right? You want to have a good understanding. And don't get me wrong, being a great artist is not like a destination. You're constantly improving, constantly honing. You're constantly getting sharper and better as an artist because you love the craft of what you do. If you don't really like it, you're like, look, man, I'm only gonna go this far and I'm done. And if they don't like what I have, then too bad. Now you need to do something else because you need to love this enough so that for the rest of your lives, you wanna improve and get better and better and better. And look at other people's work and say, hey, their stuff looks good. They have some things that I didn't even think about for my work. I'm gonna maybe incorporate some of their ideas or some of their stylistic improvements what they have in their work incorporated as improvements in my work. You're not copying off of them. You're more like being inspired by them. Your mind is being opened up to a whole new set of possibilities artistically that you didn't even know existed. All right? So anyway, United Media Minds, they work on projects that could end up in your reel. You're going to improve, hone your skills in United Media Minds. You do lots of other wonderful stuff. You can join United Media Minds either by clicking this link and sending an email. Simply, I think Jonathan, the guy named John, I can't remember his last name. Jonathan is the acting chair or president acting of United Media Minds, as far as last time I checked, because I think the other president, she graduated or something. But give them your name, tell them you're interested in joining United Media Minds, and give them your 900 number, and they should get back to you with information like when the first meeting is going to be and anything else that you may need to know. They may ask you like, well, what's your major? United Media Minds is not restricted to Dmpt or recording arts majors. Anybody in the school, nursing, computer installation, anybody can be in United Media Minds, and that's actually a good thing because you're working with people who see things from a different perspective. You know, a lot of times, they end up being really good artists. The president of United Media Minds, our last president, was actually a cosmetology student, right? Yeah. And but she really was interested in photography. And she came and practiced. I trained her myself to a large degree, and she got really, really good at it. So that perspective, that outside perspective for people who are not just trained in the arts or not just trained in our art form, it's very valuable. There's another way that you can join United Media Minds, and there is a Vaccient form. See if I can find it. Here it is right here. And I'll send this out to everybody. When you click on that link, it'll give you a Vaccient form. And you can just fill out this Maxent form with your 900 number, last name, first name, phone number, email address, GPA if you know it, and then of course the Clarkston campus and the date. And you would, just fill out this information about yourself, and then you got to find United Media Minds on this list, and it is where?
In the bottom.
At the bottom. Great. Good eyes, sir. Oh, right here. Yeah. So you check that. Make sure you click that and check that, right? And then I can't think of the last time we had T-shirts, but who knows? Maybe we will get some someday. Tell me your T-shirt size there, and your program of study is you guys, it's Design, Media, Production Technology, Dmpt. Sometimes we call it New Media. You put that in there. And then, would you want to attend some leadership seminars and conferences, Skills USA, stuff like that. By the way, this isn't just a forum for just United Media Minds. You can check additional clubs you want to join. Like if you want to join the Rotary Club or the Rotaract Club, Mu Lambda Tau, there's United Media Minds down here, Cosmetology Club. So there are lots of different clubs that you can join with this one form, and then you hit submit at the end, all right? And that's another way that you tell them who you are. This is a little more extensive than just sending an email. I would maybe do both. I'll send you, like I said, I'll put a link to this in the announcements, just to make sure that, they got you in the system, all right? All right, now I'm the advisor for United Media Minds, but that does not mean I run it, okay? I'm just basically there just in case something lights on fire and somebody needs to put it out, or if you guys need like some ideas or resources, hey, we need to ask the president if we can, get some more money, because you have like a $500 per, I think it's academic year or semester. I think it's per academic year, you have like a $500 budget, but you can ask for more money, if you have something you want to do. Like you may want to shoot a music video, and you're like, hey, we need some money for costumes and hair and makeup and stuff like that. I don't know what the upper limit is, but one thing I can tell you is Miss Sherry Smith, she's the advisor for all the campus clubs, including Student Government Association. They are really happy to do everything they can to get you the money they need. They're not stingy with the money, in other words. So especially if you're gonna do something really useful, like, music, something we can see, like, hey, you're gonna make a music video, and we want to go out to Mount Arabian Mountain Park, and we want to shoot it out there, and we want to hire a hair and makeup person, or use a hair and makeup person from the cosmetology department, right? But we got to buy their kit, meaning that their makeup and their products that they put on the actors, that ain't free. It's not a disposable. It's something you use once and they can't use again. All right. So as a result, you have to pay for it. You can't. A lot of people think, well, I gotta pay say you're the makeup artist. I gotta pay the makeup artist and I gotta pay his kit fee. Yeah, because all the foundation and the makeup that he's using in his kit, he's got to go and replace that. And he shouldn't have, whatever you pay him for his labor or his services, he should not have to take money out of his labor or services to repurchase makeup that he used on your project. In essence, if he was doing that, basically wouldn't that kind of be like him paying for your project? And he's a hired worker, you know what I mean? Right, so you pay him his rate, which is how much you're paying for him to do the work, and you pay the kit fee separately, and he'll tell you what the kit fee is, right? I'm not saying you're a makeup artist, but you get the idea. Suddenly, I want to be a makeup artist, Mr. Thomas. So, but actually, one great thing about that is, one thing we've been trying to do is get more departments, more majors at the school involved in filmmaking, because there's nothing at any school that doesn't have an application in film. I just said hair and makeup. We don't have a wardrobe major here, but at schools where they do have a fashion design major, like the Art Institute of Atlanta, we'd often get the fashion design people to design costumes and wardrobe for our actors. This is great. The carpentry department that we just got here, guess what they can do?
Clean. Do you build sets?
What?
Clean.
clean. They'd love to hear that. Yeah, we just want you to come and clean up. And they build sets. Yes, they build sets, right? And so the funny part about being in film, I'll turn the AC down a little bit. You guys are kind of cold. The funny part about being in film is that everybody wants to be involved, right? And if you can demonstrate to them or show them a project that they'd be interested in and say, hey, I know you're a welder. I know you are a carpenter. I know you are a HVAC, or let's say electronics person, right? And I want you to apply your skills in helping us make this movie. Oh, they get really excited. They get super excited about that because they get a chance to see what they did on a screen. And they could go, hey, mom, dad, friends, I helped make a movie today. And you can show it on YouTube or wherever you post it, and you can watch. You see that spaceship light, like that panel with the lights, the blinky lights on it? Guess who put that together? That was my work. You know, I know it was only on the screen for like half a second, but hey, it's still there, right? Right. All right. So that's one thing that they've been wanting us to really do. And I've always been a big proponent of that, is getting, other departments, because I mean, there's a whole lot of skills. We can't do it all. I was watching something from Quentin Tarantino. It was like a little short the other day, and he was like, as a creative, above the line person who's writing the script, directing, shooting, things like that, it's not your job to do every single thing that needs to be done for this film. You can't do it. You can't be the best cinematographer, and the best hair and makeup, and best wardrobe, and best sound recordist. You can't do that. That's where you go and hire and delegate authority to people who are really good at this job and are committed to telling the story, committed to making the film. That's when you go out and get people like that. One thing I love about, I'm a filmmaker, director myself. One thing I love about it is a person who has a skill set that's totally different from mine, right? Helping them adapt it to making this movie. And then once you give them the vision, what you need for the film, sitting back and watching them, a master at work, as they build a model or wire some electronics or do whatever it is they do in service of making this film. And they're so good at it. To me, that's a real high point. It's kind of like being a teacher, right? You kind of impart information to them, then you let them go and just do what they do best. And seeing that, I always tell people, no matter who's on the set, and also get this in mind too. As a director, I tell them, hey, I'm going to communicate to you the vision of the I'm like the shepherd, like leading the flock. I'm going to give you the vision of the story, but I'm not going to tell you how to do your job. You're the makeup artist. I don't know anything about, applying makeup. I know what good and bad makeup for film is, but I don't do it. That's not what I do. And I tell them that I expect for you to be as good at your job as I am at mine, right? And that's something that you guys should always bear in mind. When you walk on a set, step on a set, whatever your specialty is, you need to be as good at your job as the director or anybody else in any department, as good or better at your job than they are at theirs, okay? That's how you make yourself indispensable. That's how you make it so that hey man, we can't shoot this film without Jenny Kennedy. We gotta have her. She's our cinematographer person, and she's worked with us in the past, and she's really good. That's where you want to be, where people just can't do it without you. All right, so that's it for the Start Here section of Blackboard. Where am I? Yeah. That's it for the Start Here section. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. The announcements, you guys all know, I mentioned to you the announcements are there, and I put them out Sunday evening or Monday morning. Use it like a checklist. You guys have all taken me before, so you know the deal. Check your email. Check the announcements section here. I got it from of course, the table of contents section over here. Announcements, wherever it is, up here somewhere. Use it as a checklist so you don't forget anything. I put deadlines there. Sometimes I'll talk about a deadline that's a few weeks in the future, so that I'm not telling you about a major project like 5 days before it's due, okay? Because you will definitely have to prepare for it long before then. So make sure you read your announcements, and use them as a checklist. I don't just post announcements just on Sundays or Mondays. Sometimes I have little addendums, little extra information or corrections that I want to make to the announcements, and I'll do that throughout the week. And anytime I do that, make an announcement, it's also emailed to you, all right? So check your school email. That's critically important too. We'll be spending a lot of time together, but not nearly enough. The assignment section of Blackboard, you guys know this. All the content that we cover in the class is broken into modules. Generally speaking, we do one module every week. So this is week 1, we're on module 1, the shooter's point of view. For this class, I pretty much named the modules after, the chapter that you're supposed to be reading in the book. All right? So if you go into module 1, you have, the learn, reading, video, and objective section and the apply assignment section. Anything that you must read or watch to prepare you to take a quiz or do a project, you'll find it in the learn, reading, video, and objective section. Click on that. And then here, this objectives part is just telling you what you're gonna learn in this module, module 1. Down here in videos, so you don't really have to click on this, because if you click on this, you don't really see anything there, right? Really, I should just kind of copy paste this inside of there. On videos section, click on that and just watch all the videos that are there. We're gonna do that today. Next section, readings, okay? PowerPoint presentation on chapter 1. Remember, it's just a summary. It's not, everything. So you want to read the book and look at the PowerPoint. And then there's another PowerPoint presentation called Your First Barbecue, which explains all the different people on the film set. Not all of them, but the majority of the roles that are on every film set, and explains to you what they do. The reason why you want to look at that is because of the fact that you need to be thinking about, if I worked on a film set, what job sounds like it's something I would like to do, right? And then you dive into that position and learn everything there is to know about it and get all the hands-on stuff so you can be really proficient. So if you want to be a grip, and we're going to do some of that in here, you learn all about gripology. How does a grip work on a film set? And of course, we have a Dmpt flow chart. That flow chart is just basically like a hierarchy. The film industry is kind of like the military. You have a private that answers to a corporal that answers to a sergeant that answers to a major that answers to a colonel, and a colonel that answers to a general. That's a chain of command, all right? And it's important that you know your chain of command so you know where you're working, who you're most directly working for, and where you go to get stuff, all right? Critically important, all right? Because if you need a lens for your camera and you ask the second assistant director for it, they're gonna look at you, what? I'm not in your department. I'm in the production department. I'm not in the camera department. You need to go to the camera department and you need to ask your first camera, say you're the second camera operator. He told you to fetch a lens. Go to the first assistant camera operator and ask them, hey, where's the boxes where we keep all the lenses? That person is just above you in the chain of command. They're like your immediate superior, your immediate supervisor, and then they'll give you the instruction that you need. But knowing how that pecking order works is critically important, and that's what that flow chart does. Okay, so that's all the video and readings for that first module. And so if you go to the assignments, like I said, anything that you have to turn in, it's in the assignment section. So that first quiz, that's due this Sunday. By the way, this first chapter is really short. But this Sunday, the 18th, Sunday, August 18th, chapter 1 quiz is due. You'll see that I assess a lot of information through quizzes because that's a good way to, see if you, absorb the content in the chapter. And of course, I got to do grades and stuff, unfortunately. So make sure you get that done by this Sunday. You guys know I don't do late stuff. I don't do redos, nothing like that. Please get it done the first time before the deadline. We're deadline driven, okay? So we're gonna practice that in here for class with our assignments. Also, as you guys know, you have a work ethics discussion. I'll show you what it is. You click on that, And hey, Tiana already did this. Oh, by the way, you probably already done this for another class, right? Just copy paste. If you kept it, just copy. Yes. See, don't I tell you guys at my classes, just do it one time and save it to a flash drive, save it to the cloud or whatever, and it just copy paste, right? Yeah, just copy paste. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click create thread, and it's going to talk about the 10 work ethics traits, being on time and cooperation and teamwork and all that kind of good stuff. It tells you about there. And then you're going to answer the question, why are these 10 traits important in your chosen career field? Okay, and you want to type it down here. And I want to encourage you to really think about it. You don't really you dropped your wallet there. I did. Yep. Unless it has money, in which case it's my wallet. So your career field, I know you're still learning about it, and that's part of what you're here to do, to learn about what do I want to do, where is my passion, right, within the film industry, if that's your thing. If you're in animation, and hey, I know for a fact I don't want to be on a film set, but I want to be in an animation studio, still you'll find a lot of this stuff useful, and you still may find a job or career that you may kind of grab, hey, I kind of like that. If I were to work in film, I'd want to be a lighting grip, or an electrician, or something like that, So you write about how these 10 aspects are applied to, the film industry. Try to be, based on what you know, try to be as specific as possible. Don't say, oh, well, promptness is important because you should always be on time. Yeah, we get that. But if you were to say promptness is important because of the fact that in the film industry, and this is something you guys probably already know, you're working with a lot of people. The editor can't do their job until the film team, the production team, has completed shooting the film. So if the production team is late in shooting the film, that means the editor is going to be late in delivering the final edit. That means it's not going to get to the movie theaters or TV at the advertised time, okay? Because now instead of coming out on May 5th, it's now coming out on May 12th. That may not seem like a huge deal, but what you have to understand is that up to 6 months, I know you guys probably all watch movies and you're aware of movies like Deadpool versus Wolverine, which I haven't seen yet, but I heard it was just kind of okay. Is that you might have seen?
Okay, it was awesome.
You liked it?
Yeah, I
It was
loved
one of
it.
their better
Really?
this whole go around, in my opinion. So.
Really? Was it better than the second Deadpool?
It depends on how you feel about it. I like the first one.
I like the first one best. I like the first one best. Yeah, the second one's okay, but
to me, it's a good follow up to the first one. Like the second one to me is kind of like it gave plot. It gave plot.
Okay. So I'll check it out because I was gonna go see it last weekend, but me and the wife got wrapped up in stuff and like I heard the reviews were just kind of okay,
well,
so
even
I went.
If you don't like the plot of it, like the cameos will carry it. To me,
Okay, yeah, they did say that they have a lot of cameos in this thing. So yeah, I'll check it out. I'm not paying Twilight or full price at nighttime for any movie. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Lawrence of Arabia. I'm not paying. How much do movies cost after 6 now?
After 6 o'clock, shit, that better be like $12.
Oh, it's a lot more than that. It was 12. It was $12. I mean, it should be more. I don't know because I don't see movies at that now. I always see them in the daytime, in the matinee. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. That's why I like
yeah. But yeah, it was $11, $12 back in the 90s. Yeah. So if it goes up like everything else, and of course, I don't know if you guys know this, but the film industry, the mainstream theatrical release film industry, the ones that come out with it ain't doing too good right now because people are staying home and watching stuff on streaming a lot more. The film industry never recovered from COVID, stuff is being made, but people aren't going to theaters so much to see it as much as they used to, right? And so, they usually make up that loss in revenue by going up in ticket price, So yeah, I don't know. I'll go ahead on you guys' recommendation. I'll go ahead and see it, and I won't use my what do you call that thing? My Fire Stick. What do you call it? Jailbroken. I am not going to use my jailbroken Fire Stick to see this movie like Tyler often does. I am not going to. I will legally see this movie in the movie theater? Oh, okay. Okay, but still, okay. Now, normally that I would just fall on the ground and you think something happened to me. Because I'm like, how are you in this major if you don't watch movies? But I'll say, you watch TV though, right?
Yeah, I watch TV.
Okay. And TV is not necessarily stuff like on a TV like this. It could be watching stuff, streaming, or watching stuff on social media. So that all counts. That all counts as far as, okay. But yeah, that's just heartbreaking. I have students who be like, yeah, I don't watch movies. And oh, you don't watch movies? Okay. Do you watch TV? No, don't really watch TV. You know, do you watch like stuff on social media that's, you know, dramatic or stuff that, you know, is narrative storytelling? No, not really. So what do you do? You know, just kind of whatever. Like, why do you major in this? You know, why did you? It's almost like saying, yeah, I don't like sweets, but I'm going to pastry school to be a cake chef and culinary. You know.
Well, maybe you'll get a different perspective from somebody. Maybe.
We ain't got time for that. It's like, yeah, I mean, because one thing I can tell you is I spend at this school specifically, my toughest job is getting students excited about this stuff. I remember when I was in school, at first I was a physics major. I was not a film major. And I was a physics major for 4.5 years in college. That didn't work. I did internships, worked at NASA, did all kinds of crazy stuff.
You were at NASA?
Yep. Well, it was a NASA facility. It was a Propulsion Engineering Research Center on the campus of. NASA paid for it, I guess, on a Penn State campus. And so, but that wasn't really me. It didn't work out for me. And so I said, well, what do I do in my spare time? What would I do for free? And I was like, wow, I'm watching a lot of movies. I've always been, you know, since a very, very small boy, movies and television and video games and comic books. And it just never occurred to me, hey, I can do this for a living and make money off of it. So that's when I made a U-turn in my studies and decided to study film. And but that love was always there, you know. And so, you know, when I showed up to class, I was just bated breath. I was like, wow, I just can't wait to see what are we going to learn to do or learn about, what films are we going to watch clips of in class that I've never seen before. I was just in love with that whole process. And it's tougher now because so many students are just kind of blasé about, yeah, whatever. And I tell students, do or do that, whatever. This is way too hard for you to be blasé. Nobody ever says, yeah, I think I'll go to med school. Yeah, I don't really care what I do. I'm just going to go to med. Do you know how long you go to med school? Yeah, and that's not even counting your what do you call it when you go to the yeah, it's not even counting your residency. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's like altogether that could be up to 20 years of your life. You know what I mean? Hard. It ain't easy. No, I just showed up to class. No, hard work because they are going to put somebody's life in your hands. You know, they don't just say, yeah, I think I'll go to med school, or I think I'll go to law school. Yeah, I'll just be a lawyer. I'll just go to law school and whatever. I really don't care. I just got to do something. Got to get out of my mom's house. So yeah, I'll just go to law school. Nobody says that, okay? Because they know it is so incredibly difficult that you have to have a passion for it. Even before you know anything about law, before you know anything about medicine or being a doctor, they say, man, maybe you visited a doctor's office or you saw what a doctor did for a relative. Man, that just really got me inspired. I just want to learn how to do what they do. I don't really know much about it now, but that's where it starts, okay? And all the technical training in the world is not going to help you if you don't have passion. If you have no, and be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go to work. And you go to work as a filmmaker or as an artist, animator, with the same enthusiasm as a person working at McDonald's, okay? Not that there's anything bad or wrong with working at McDonald's if you have to, but nobody goes to school and says, I want to drop fries for a living. Nobody says that, You know what I'm saying? You do it because you have to, right? And as a result, it's not a very difficult job, at least skills-wise, right? You don't invest a lot into it, so you don't get a whole lot out of it. You don't get paid a whole lot. The hours are crappy. Sometimes your workplace, unless you work at Chick-fil-A, your workplace is pretty crappy. Was it now?
I said, no, I'm saying I'm dead because like that's Chick-fil-A workers got me.
Well, yeah, I mean, they always seem happy at Chick-fil-A, and I get the impression they treat them well at working at Chick-fil-A relative to other fast food joints. You know what I mean? So you want to have that passion. And I say this with no negativity, but if whatever you're doing and studying here, if you don't have that passion and you could take it or leave it, find something else to do. And I'm not saying that as a mean person. I'm saying that as you will thank me way down the line when you say, you know what, if I had become a physicist or I had become an engineer, I would be barely hanging on and I'd be miserable. I'd hate going to work every day. I don't think I feel like that about physics, and you can have a passion for that too. But let's just say you just kind of did something because it was there, or your parents told you to do it, or you figured you could make a lot of money out of it, and you ended up hating it, or it was a drudgery. Do you want to live the rest of your life like that?
No.
You know what I mean? And so, but the decisions you're making right now, this is one great thing about but also scary thing about being in school. This is the last set of options you will ever get. Is it not necessarily at this school, but school in general? Because after you finish school and you go into the working world, you don't get to choose what you want to do. You must do what you gotta do. At that point, like, look, man, school time's over. You should have made your choices. You slept through class. You didn't pay attention. You were blasé about it, and you just kind of walked through the class. Now you're out, and you got to pay your rent. You can't live with your mama the rest of your life. Zillennials and late, you got to move out sometime, right? Your parents are going to die one day, right? Yeah. When they die, they go, I was tired of making little Tyler breakfast every day. No, I'm joking. Now he can make his own breakfast. So when dying is a break, when it's like you look forward to the hereafter because it's a lot less work. So yeah, we're trying to prepare you for the world and prepare you so that you can do what you want to do as opposed to what you have to do. All right? Because doing what you have to do sucks, I will tell you. Yeah, absolutely. How many people have ever had a job in here? What kind of, I know you work in person. What do you work?
I used to work, what happened in retail, fast food, I did cleaning services, delivery.
Yeah. When you were in kindergarten or the first grade, you said, I want to work for Instacart. Yeah. Wasn't even invented back then, but they should invent something one day where you could order food from restaurants on your phone and people will go and pick up that food and take it to your home. Did you think that in the first grade? That's what I want to do for a living. Probably not, right? But you did it because you had to. That's, make money. So the whole thing is to be able to transition from doing what you have to do to doing what you want to do. So you'll just be ordering Instacart from your Beverly Hills high-rise condo, making.
You know what? That's the goal.
Let's go. Yeah. Make the Instacart person climb 74 flights of stairs to your high-rise condo overlooking the Pacific Ocean, right? Is that? And then when they get there, you say, "This isn't right at all. Take it back." All right. So you may be so rich, you just do that for fun. On a slow Friday night, you just order stuff and just say it's wrong and send it back. Yeah, that's how rich people are, man. Honestly, I gotta say, if I was like a billionaire, I would make people do stuff they wouldn't do. But I would say, look, man, if you go up and no explanation, you slap the snot out of your mother and don't say anything, I will pay you $25,000. Okay?
Well, you need to raise it for me.
Oh, is that you need to raise it? All right, yeah. So I'm that kind of person. If I was like a billionaire like Jeff Bezos, I'd go around paying people to do these horrible, not like hurting nobody, not really, not killing nobody or breaking any. Well, They be breaking some mild laws, you know what I'm saying? But then, okay, you got to go streaking. Yeah, take off all your clothes and run down the street. Actually, they did that on a radio show one time, and it was from like $100. So like $100 for really $100. You know, you're gonna have to go up in your price. You know, but they did it, and so I would do stuff like that. I would, you know. Yeah. So college kids are too easy. They're too easy. I want somebody who like has something to lose. Like, you know, I got a job and people may see me on TV. I got a family, and you know, so
Middle-aged, somebody who wasn't established.
absolutely. It's like that's a person that's going into the casino with something to lose. You know what I'm saying? So I could lose my family. That's even better. So yeah. What would you do? What would you do for money? That would be the yeah. But like I said, yeah, no, you couldn't use college students. That'd be too easy. I mean, they'd be doing crazy stuff for a pack of ramen noodles. It's like, yeah, no. That's no fun. All right. So okay, so we've gone over any questions on the Blackboard site, how we turn in stuff. Oh, one thing I do want to show you is you guys know about drop boxes, right? In the assignment section. And so when a project is due, I don't know if it's here, but let's click on that. Go to the assignment. Say you're doing project 1, which is not in that section, not in midterms. Maybe it's 7. Well, here's in the assignment section, that's a quiz. Well, it's not there yet. But the idea is you'll have a Dropbox where you would upload your, like a project. You're gonna have at least 3 projects in the class. Now, the tough part about this is balancing the textbook with all of the hands-on stuff. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays are normally meant for the lecture part where you're sitting down, we're talking like now, and Thursdays is hands-on, but I don't respect that at all. I mix it up. So maybe, you know, hands-on on Tuesdays and hands-on on Thursdays. That would be preferable to me. But you do need to stop and understand exactly what am I doing and how does this fit in the whole scheme of things, and how does a film world work, and you know, what is a gaffer, and you know, before you actually start, you know, hooking stuff up and plugging in lights, you want to know the strategy there. So that's where a lot of the lecture part comes in. But there are also projects where you're going to demonstrate what you've learned. All right. So any questions on any of that? We all good? All right. Let's take a very, very quick look at our syllabus, and then we'll take a break. All righty. Like I said before, I'm not going to go over this word for word. You guys have seen a syllabus or 2 in your days, right? So, but definitely have a copy of this handy so you can review it, anything like that. If I make corrections to it, you'll see, or when I make corrections to it, you'll see it reflected in the announcements. So, of course, class times 9 to 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Email address right here. Here's my office phone. Kind of like the same thing as the instructor contact section of Blackboard. Those are my conference hours. Here it says that I don't have hours on Thursdays, but actually that's not entirely accurate. I'll p.m. to 4 p.m. All right, on Thursdays, and I'll correct that. I will re-upload that. All right. Of course, this just talks about it's really not web, and it's not hybrid. It's really web enhanced. It means 100% on the classroom, and in your projects and your readings and all that kind of stuff comes from Blackboard. That's the information on the textbook. Supplemental syllabus. This syllabus is just stuff that is specific to this class for the most part, but there's some general, as you guys know, some general rules that for the school that you want to be aware of. Most people don't look it up until they need it, like how do I withdraw from a class, safety and emergency procedures. You can find that by clicking this link or going to gptc.edu/supplemental-syllabus. Course competencies and student learning outcomes. These are the things that you're supposed to learn while you're here in the course. You learn a whole lot more than this, right? No-show work ethics. We talked about that already. make sure you get that no-show done by this Thursday, 11:59 p.m., 15th. The work ethics, as long as you get that, it's worth, I think, 4% of your grade, maybe more of your grade. As long as you get that done before the end of the semester, you're good. All right, just don't forget about it. I would just knock it out now like Tiana did, so you don't have to worry about it, you know? All right. Okay, remember, no late work, retakes, or resubmissions. Please make sure it's properly formatted for your projects. Like your first one is going to be in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. Please do it in a PowerPoint presentation and upload it to the correct Dropbox. And you know, whatever the format is, stick to that format. Well, I couldn't give you a PowerPoint presentation, but I have a JPEG. No, that's not going to do it. You got to put it in the right format. And it also trains you in what a deliverable is. You guys know what a deliverable is? Something you get from Instacart, right? Deliverable is whatever the client or the studio or the network needs you to give to them after you finish working. So there are a lot of specifications. So for example, if you shoot a film and you edit the film and you give the studio a big roll of 35 millimeter film to duplicate and distribute to movie theaters all over the country, they'll be like, where are you from? 1955? We do everything digitally now. This is not the right deliverable. You were supposed to give me a DCI package. That's a digital file that they can upload to a server, and those servers are connected to movie theaters all over the country, and the movie theaters from their servers in the movie theater, they project the movie on the screen. That's how it largely works. You know, not 100%, but since 2002, that was where, you know, they've been kind of going. And now it's really hard to find a theater that will put a 1,000-foot roll of film on a projector and actually project it like the old days. It's really hard to find that. Definitely not like that, a big chain like AMC. They're doing everything digitally, right? So that's why deliverable is important, knowing what they need from you, because if you give me something I can't use, if you give your client something they can't use, hey, I ordered a vegan $5 foot long, and you gave it to them with cheese and egg, and they say, well, it's not meat. Well, just because it's not meat doesn't mean it's vegan. I can't eat this. You gave them the deliverable in the incorrect format. All right, so understanding the different formats, and we're going a lot of those in here, is extremely important, because you want to actually get paid for your work, right? Because if you give them something they can't use, they're not going to pay you for that. You know what I'm saying? All right. One other thing I want to say about Blackboard is, have you guys ever done like a quiz or maybe sometimes an assignment on Blackboard, and you didn't see a grade in the grade book? You saw like a blue circle with a little pie cut out. You've seen that? That means, and I know you know, that means something went wrong either when you took it or when you submitted it, and it has to be resolved in order for you to get a grade. Most of the time, what I think is going on is they're either submitting it before they've answered all the questions, say if it's a quiz, or something happened, maybe their computer crashed and Blackboard submitted it before they can get back up and finish it. What happens when you see that little blue circle with a little light blue pie cut out of it, what happens is that any question on a quiz, for example, that you did not complete, what happens? Like say, for example, you did the first 3 questions of a 20-question quiz, and then for whatever reason, you got kicked out of the quiz, and yes, well, not marking to 0. It's going to mark all the questions, the other 17 questions you didn't do. Blackboard's going to check them and mark them wrong. See, you know, and so as a result, you have a really bad grade. So if you ever see that blue circle with the little pie cut out, you should see that as soon as you complete a quiz or turn in something. It'll show you what your grade is. If you see that, contact me as soon as possible so we can rectify it. Normally what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I see you tried to take it before the deadline, so you know you're not doing a makeup or anything like that, but something went wrong. I don't know what went wrong. Maybe it was your computer, maybe it was Blackboard, I don't know. But since you already got started, I'll reset the quiz for you so you can retake it. but do that as soon as possible. Typically what students do is, for some reason, I don't know if they're not checking their grades and stuff, but if you just took a quiz, it seems to me you probably want to at least kind of know how you did on it. But a lot of students don't think about that until the last couple of weeks of the semester and say, hey, Mr. Thomas, I got this little blue thing and I don't have a grade for it. And so I say, okay, that quiz you took like 15, 12 weeks ago, you're gonna have to retake it. And I try to be, kind of on top of alerting students when there's a situation like that. But yeah, you gotta be more invested in your grades than I am. You know what I mean? So definitely you wanna keep track of that. Not just for this class, but for all of your classes, okay? Because stuff like that does happen once in a while. And the teacher will probably go ahead and, let you retake the quiz or whatever. But like I said, it could be 12, 13 weeks later. You don't remember that stuff so much. You've got to go back and restudy it, But if you knock it out right afterwards, then, you can take care of it quickly. You won't have to go back and restudy so much, all right? Email, you guys know the story. Give me 24 hours if you contact me between 9 a.m. on Monday morning and 12 p.m. on Friday afternoon, okay? We don't work weekends, so we're not bound to answer emails on weekends. So if you email me after 12 p.m. on Friday afternoon, between 12 p.m. on Friday afternoon and 11:59 p.m. on Sunday evening, I will get back to you by noon of that next Monday. Okay, and it's a lot more doable this semester, because before I would say noon of Tuesday, because I would have classes from today, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. basically on Mondays. And so if you emailed me over the weekend, you might not hear from me until Tuesday, right? Because, they want us to do work-life balance, and I agree. Don't take your work home. Look, when I'm not here, when I'm not on the clock, I'm not doing work, because I'm certainly not getting paid for it. And so so that's why we don't answer emails on the weekends. I understand emergencies do happen. I get that. However, I want you guys to try to think ahead. If you're like, hey, I'm having a problem with this project that's due on Sunday night, okay? Don't email me at 2 a.m. on Saturday morning, because I'm not even gonna look at my email until Monday morning. And the problem is, if that assignment was due on Sunday night and you had a problem I didn't find out about until Monday morning, that's not an excuse for you not turning it in. Unless it's a problem with Blackboard. It's like, okay, I tried to submit it to Blackboard before the deadline and it wouldn't let me upload it. That's different, But if I didn't understand this, or I didn't know that, or blah, 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 blah. Yeah, nah, dude. Don't wait until the last minute to do stuff, all right? And it's not just for me, it's for you. I always tell people, it's not a matter of if something's gonna go wrong, it's a matter of when is it gonna go wrong. You wanna give yourself enough headroom so that when something does go wrong, you can correct it and still have time to make your deadline, all right? Okay, we have quizzes in the class. I think we have 7, we may have more than that. 10% of your grade is all of your quizzes all together. So each grade is less than 2% each of your quiz. 1 or 2 bad grades on a quizzes or a missed quiz or so is not gonna kill you, but if you start racking up bad grades and missing a whole bunch of quizzes, yes, it will definitely negatively impact your grade. Remember, I don't do retakes in this course, all right? You have your 3 projects here. They're worth 14% each. That's an odd number, 14, right? Then you have an in-class midterm practical where you set up a camera, set up a tripod, written midterm exam, a proctored event written final exam. That's your final written exam. It says proctored event because we're doing it on a response lockdown browser. An in-class final practical exam where you set up a different camera or lights and a tripod, all right? And it's a professionalism grade. Professionalism is just about, hey, when you were in class, were you a contributing member? Every time I looked over, were you doing this while the rest of the class is working? You know what I'm saying? Setting up lights and cameras and stuff like that. Were you a contributing member of the class? So that's how grades are weighted. We already talked about the proctored, well, actually we didn't. The proctored event will be the final exam. You have to use Respondus Lockdown Browser, and the the exam will be up for a week. It doesn't say it here. It says that it's due by Sunday, December the 1st, but it will appear, and I'll make the correction, it will appear on Sunday, November the 24th, the previous Sunday at 9 a.m. So you will have one full week to do the proctored event written exam, okay? So you don't have to wait until the last minute to do the written exam. You have like a whole week. This is just more Blackboard, more proctored event stuff, telling you about Response Lockdown Browser. Here it is right here. So 9 a.m. Sunday the 24th of November until 11:59 p.m. Sunday the 1st of December. And I think you also have a final project due on that day as well. That doesn't mean you do both of them on the same day at the last minute and turn them in on the first of Sunday. Hopefully you would have long completed your project before you do the final exam, and so you don't put yourself in that kind of time crunch. Last part, going over the course calendar. This is basically just a schedule of due dates. Remember, your no-show assignment is due by this Thursday, 15th of August. This middle column is everything you should be reading for that week. So this week, when you guys run and get your books, if you don't already have it, you want to read over all this material. Some of this stuff we're going to do in class, all right? But your first quiz is due, actually, no, your first quiz is not due this Sunday. Your first quiz is due, see, I'm getting soft. Your first quiz is due, I think, the 1st of September. That's a long way away, man. 1st of September. Oh, well, I guess I can still get everything done. The 1st of September, all right? That's when your first quiz is due. And then after the 1st of September, every week, you'll have either a quiz or an exam or a project due. Many times you'll have a exam, like a midterm exam, and like we'll do the midterm practicals. We got to go one by one. We can't, it's not a group practical, we go one by one. And I do that on Tuesdays, okay? So we'll do one right around week 8 and one in the end of the semester. I think I do it before we go off for Thanksgiving, okay, on that Tuesday. Because those can take a while. One person could, it depends on how good you are at what you're supposed to be doing. It could take 15 minutes. I don't have the patience for a person who doesn't know what they're doing. It's gonna like 45 minutes to do something that should take them 5 minutes to do. I just don't have that kind of, it's clear that person doesn't know what they're doing, right? And I'm not gonna let them waste everybody's time. So in any case, but we do those on Tuesdays, and the exams are due on Sunday nights, okay? So we're working our way through the book, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and I try to coordinate what we read in the book with what we're doing practically in here. So we're reading about DSLR cameras, and then we're going to move from the AVC HD Panasonic 160 camera, which is a camcorder, to Nikon 720D. 720D? You probably have gotten experience with that if you were in Miss Botolin's photography class. Anybody?
I'm going to.
So yeah, you'll get experience with that, with those DSLR cameras, but there's a chapter on it, and we're gonna try to work on use the hands-on with it while we're reading about it in the book. And then of course we go week by week, we go through the different cameras practically, because I do talk about what we're doing practically in this hands-on stuff in this course review as well. So we got a midterm on the 8th. I think I put TBA here for week 14. That's Thanksgiving week. The 28th is a Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't decided whether, I think the school is open on Monday and Tuesday. I haven't decided whether I'm going to have class on Tuesday, the 26th. I'm leaning towards not having class that week. I may be leaving town. I may be going to Arizona during that week. But we definitely will not have class on Thursday, of course, because that's Thanksgiving Day. All right. All right. And then when we come back from Thanksgiving, really all you're going to do is work on your final exam written if you haven't already, which is due on the 1st of December. But you can see we did our practical exam back on November the 19th. All right. Any questions on anything, course schedule, anything else in the syllabus? All right, I know it's been a grind. Let's take a break. It's 11:01. Let's come back at 11:20. You might need to go to the bookstore to get a book. Okay, I'll make it 11:25, just in case you have to go to the bookstore or something like that to grab a book. And we only have a little less than an hour, so when we come back, what I'll do is let's make it 11:20. I want that 5 minutes. We'll see if I can go over that block, rehearse, tweak, shoot, or some of the material that you're responsible for this week. I know we have Thursday to go over this stuff too, but I want to do a lot of hands-on stuff Thursday. So today was mostly administrative, kind of getting you oriented with the class. But we're going to crank through some of the material when you guys come back. Take 20. I'll see you guys at 11:20.
What was the book title?
The book title is, I'll show it to you here, if I still have it. Maybe not. Right here. A video shooter is right here. Video shooter, mastering storytelling techniques. That's a really big one.
How much does it cost on Amazon?
It is by, hold on one second. Let me show you, because it's not the whole thing. It's Amazon, there we go. Amazon, the paperback version is kind of pricey. Not the hardcover.
Hell no.
Paperback is $55.99. All right.
Okay.
But you can get it. Yeah, you can rent it Kindle. This is weird how that's
It's
16.
overdone.
Yeah. So in that particular case, unless you can get it used,
Right.
I would probably go with the paperback. Just less expensive. Or there's new and used offers there.
Okay.
But there are other
$12.
Cool.
yeah. There are other websites that other than Amazon. There's one called Thrift Books that I like. That's really cool. The only thing about Thrift Books is that